Hello, hello. It's Monday in Australia. It's Sunday. No, it's Monday morning in Europe. I don't think anyone in the US would be watching at 3 a.m. But if you are, very, very dedicated. Love you for it. I'm Madam K, and I have to stop saying it like that. I am Madam K, and I'm very happy to be back after a week off of streaming. Now, it wasn't really a week off. So I'm just going to turn my sound down. It wasn't really a week off because... So the story is, I got selected. Should be... Sorry, I keep saying I'm not streaming. It's weird. I am streaming. Okay, that's weird. Huh? Bizarre. Cool. Bleh. This always happens on my live streams where I'm looking at it and it's like, oh, it didn't happen, but it did happen, and whatever. So the go is that I got selected for this prize thing, and they basically gave me a week. They gave me a week to get things ready for this presentation that I had to give. And you know, a week is sort of enough, but in reality it's not. Because, so if, for those of you who don't know me, I'm just gonna double check that I'm definitely on. One sec. Just my my YouTube-y thing that says I'm not on, which is super weird. Whatever. I'll go to my other YouTube. I'll tell you the story in a second, guys. I'll tell you the story in a second. Just let me double check that everything is happening as it should. So if I go to my videos, or if I go to home, you know what? I'll go to the app. One sec. It's Monday in Australia. It's it's working. No, it's Monday morning in Europe. Yep, we're on. Excellent. Okay, good. So I thought I'd tell you guys about my week. Not that I particularly want to treat the streams as like a counselling session for myself. So I got selected for this science prize thing, which sounds a lot like more impressive than it really is. Like, trust me, it's not that impressive. So a whole bunch of the young scientists in Sydney, where I live, a whole bunch of scientists in a place where I live in Sydney get together and basically throw the finalists of this prize, one of which I was selected as, throws the finalists of this prize into the ring with 5 other poor young scientists, and we have to give this presentation about what we've been doing and who we are and blah 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 blah. So it's fine. Like, I actually don't mind public speaking. Like, I do it here and it's not a problem. I don't tend to fear it. But when you give me a week's notice to just, you know, pop out a presentation, and I'm sure it's different in all fields, right? I'm sure it's way different in all fields. Just in case you guys are wondering, I'm going to be gold farming soon, so I've got a guild audition tomorrow, so I need to buy some flasks, and I'm really poor. No, I'm not too poor, but I'm pretty poor by WoW standards. I'm actually very poor. Anyway, so I got selected for this prize and thrown into the ring with 5 other young scientists who were, you know, like, great, like, awesome. And we have to give a talk, and that talk, we get judged by a whole lot of other scientists. And I don't know, the actual action of doing the presentation and sharing my science, why do I have this bar in the middle? Sharing my science, it's not like, I don't care about that. I don't know, I guess it's the action of being judged with the knowledge that you're being judged. It's just, I don't particularly think it's conducive to good science. And I had to essentially spend an entire week, sorry, I've got my coffee, an entire week preparing for this thing. And for those of you who know me, I'm not exactly the most, what's a good way to say it? I'm not the most polite person on the planet. Especially when I've got the shits. Like when I get annoyed, I'm not polite. It's a massive failing of mine. Sorry, I'm just having a look at the chat, making sure. Yeah, it's a massive failing of mine. Where am I going? I'm trying to find a place to go to Pandaria. Yeah, it's a huge failing of mine to not when something doesn't go my way. It's not about going my way, but when I feel like, it's probably going to sound like when something doesn't go my way, but whatever. That I've got to get the gold farming sheet out. Chrome? Is it in Chrome? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, when something doesn't like. Okay, there we go. Throne of Thunder. Okay, we're going to Throne of Thunder, guys. Let's just fly there and then I'll talk.
Hello.
Should be able to get there via. Yeah. So yeah, I put a week into this presentation, and I don't really particularly like wasting my time very much, because when you're doing a research PhD, God, that's really bright, that light. Oh, that's better. Wow, it was in my face. When you're doing a research PhD, you kind of feel like you want to dedicate your time to as much like as much research as you can. So it can be sort of difficult to, I don't know, do all this work for a whole week, and it's essentially just an entire week just lost. It's an entire week just gone, and it just sucks. Like, it really, really sucks. And then so you do this talk and you mingle with all these people, and then you don't win the prize, which is whatever, but then like you look back at the whole week and the whole week's just poof out of nowhere. And then so I've already sort of wasted this, not wasted, but I've already wasted this entire week on this presentation for this science thing. And then I'm put in a social situation. So I'm already like annoyed, somewhat. Like, I'm already irritated that I've had to do all this work and then sort of nothing comes out of it. And then this guy comes up to me. Oh. So, you know how sometimes there's that stereotype of scientists that they're all really sort of socially awkward, like they're geeks, but they're geeks not in the gamer sort of geek way. They're sort of pedantic. Oh, what's that guy's name out of Sheldon? They're kind of like Sheldon. You kind of want to punch them in the face a little bit. Basically, let's just call this guy Sheldon. This guy Sheldon comes up to me and is like, oh, you should, on your analysis, did you do this and this? Or did you do, this and this? And it's not really important what the this and this is. And, like, did you do this and this, or did you do this and this? And I'm like, oh, I just did the single analysis. And they're like, oh, well, you should do the chained analysis. I'm just going to call it chain analysis. And I'm like, okay, that's great, you know, cool, definitely. Oh, and did you know this other lot of people are doing this, and this other lot of people are doing this, and you should totally do this. And it's just, and this went on for a decent 20 minutes, and I'm just tired. Like, I'm just exhausted from this guy, Sheldon, who was basically telling me how wrong, or basically telling me this is how you do your research. And I'm like, I was just buggered. Like, I'd given my talk, I'd like wasted all my adrenaline on that talk, and then all of a sudden this, oh. Yeah, I wanted to punch him in the face. Basically, I wanted to punch him in the face. And so that was so not only was I not able to, you know, do my YouTube stream, do all the things that kind of keep me normal and sane, but then, you know, the culmination of the week is that, you know, nothing to show for it, and a dude who tells me how I should be doing my research. And he's not like someone who's way ahead of me in the field or anything like that. He's not like an authority in the field. He's just some guy. He's basically like Sheldon Light with no experience. And anyway, and at the same time, like, my like personal life is not like great. Like, obviously I've got a partner, and that's not a problem, but you know, my parents are getting divorced, and they're trying to sell their house, and you know, but that's just sort of, it's almost like a normal life sort of thing, but it is extra strain. And so that's where I was last week. I was dealing with that, and then dealing with trying to get this presentation together. And then Friday comes around, and you know what, I just went, you know, it's going to sound really bad. It's going to make me sound really, sorry, I'm just checking the stream. Yeah, there we go. It's going to make me sound like really awful, but basically, okay, let's get this thing going. But basically, I got home on Friday night and was like, you know what? Oh, hang on, I'm just gonna have a drink. I'm just gonna have a drink because I'm just so totally over this. I'm just so totally over this. And does anyone, I don't know, one second. I like to check the health of my stream just to make sure everything's going okay. What reason it's such let me just double check. Let me just double check what it looks like. I still get paranoid that like you guys are gonna have a crappy viewing experience. I get really, really, really paranoid. Like every time I get on, I should just trust that it works. But life doesn't always go that way for anyone. Thanks. Look up my own persons. Look up my own peoples. Okay, it says I'm live. I use my private account to oh, did I